Hey everybody, welcome into the new house of stereo. You last saw us about a year ago as we were getting ready to move into the place. We did a construction tour where I showed you around. Well, here we are a year later. We've moved in, we've put things in here, moved them around again, but now it's time to show things off. So welcome to our front of house, and we're gonna take you on a tour through the rooms and show you what we've got on the floor right now. So when you walk in, I want this area to answer a lot of people's questions. You know, do we carry tubes, turntables? What do we do for digital? All of those questions are basically answered as soon as you come in the front door. A number of products, a lot of products that we kept quiet about until we moved into the new space. So if you had been to our temp space or even to our old building, there are brands that you probably are not expecting to see that you're going to see today. All right, so to start things off, nice historic, the vintage style Wharfdales. These are not 70s Wharfdales. These are actually quite amazing. Audio Research is one of the brands that we brought in as part of the move into the new shop. Hi-Fi Rose, of course, really making waves in the digital world. Project Turntables. In addition, T+A remains a big brand of ours. As many of you know, we're one of T+A's biggest dealers here in the United States. But then we've done some other new things that I want to tell you about. Now let's take a look at the living room. Of interest, August 2024, Steve Huff review of the Duettos just came out. These are on fire, tons of interest. This is the Zebrano finish of the Triangle Audio Duetto. Now, the living room proper, not only is this a Focal-driven, Dolby Atmos-enabled TV theater system, we've got some really cool two-channel audio here. Borresen's 05 Silver Supreme. This is one of their top speakers. There's 7 pounds of silver in each chassis. Really, this is an amazing speaker. It's awesome. It's one of my favorites. Another one of my favorites are the Stenheim. This is the Alumine 5 SE. We just took home Best Sound and Show from the Absolute Sound with these speakers and this Viva Audio Solista amp, driven by T+A Digital. And then this is the Access Forte 3 that drives the 05 Silver Supremes, another Audio Group Denmark company. Absolutely phenomenal. So quite a good living room setup. This is the Honey Oak version of those same Duettos I just showed you, and Hi-Fi Rose, of course. RS-150B, big fan favorite. Then Electric Company It. This is their Rena SA2, little all-in-one that'll drive some speakers in a secondary part of the house. Really cool little technology from Electric Company It. I should point out the Electric Company It CD player. Now, we all know CD players aren't that popular these days, but if you take their top-level streamer and add a transport to it, that's really a phenomenal piece. So if you are in the market for a CD player, take a look at that thing. It is awesome. Now, over here, this is kind of a cool system. A good friend of mine, Rob Stanley, has started distributing Advanced Paris. So we are trying out the A12. There's a couple of reviews. The Absolute Sound just looked at this. These are our little Stenheims. These are the babies, the Alumine, or they're not even called Alumines. They're the 2.5s. Phenomenal speaker, small in stature, big in sound, and then VPI. So anyone who knows us knows that we're a big VPI shop. This is the Red Dragon, based on their classic series. So pretty beautiful. It's an iconic table with a beautiful finish. I think this is going to be big for 2024. Over here, now this isn't fully fleshed out, so we're going to give you a preview of it, but we're not going to get too deep into it. But this is our new headphone section. So we have played in headphones for a little while, but now we're starting to get a little bit more serious. So we've developed this headphone section to basically localize everything. You're going to find Focal, T+A, Grotto, Audeze, and a couple other brands that we're bringing in that we'll be talking about later. But I wanted to get it somewhere where we could manage cables and kind of make it pretty. So I'm proud of this. Of course, a T+A Caruso system up top, but we're going to be working on this as time goes on. So if you're in the area and are headphone interested, definitely a place to stop in. As far as the rest of the front of house goes, we have a used section and a couple other spots that we'll get to in a minute. But for now, I want to start with Soundroom 1. Basically, our core left side of the shop room. Jasmin, I'm going to introduce you to Jasmin, who is our general manager, and we're going to talk a little bit about Audio Group Denmark. Welcome to the Audio Group Denmark room, and here's Jasmin.
Hi, everybody. Like Joe said, welcome to our Audio Group Denmark room. This is a dedicated room for them, and I want to tell you a little bit about who Audio Group Denmark is. So under the Audio Group Denmark brand, there are 4 different brands, and it is Borresen, which is going to be the speaker line. We have Aavik, which are the component line over here. We have Access, which is a combination of components and speakers, and we have Ansuz, which is going to be cabling and anti-resonance. But what I really want to talk to you about is Borresen. So right behind me here, I have 2 speakers from the X series. This is the X3 and the X1. Then we have the O1 Silver Supreme, which is the little sibling to the O5 Silver Supreme that you just saw outside. And this one has 2 pounds of pure silver in each cabinet. Next, we have the Z1 Cryo, and the Z1 Cryo is actually about to be replaced by a new line, which is the C line, and I believe that is going to become available in August. One of the things I love about Borresen is the tweeter, and you're going to find this same tweeter across all Borresen speakers, and it's this tweeter that gives so much of that beautiful holographic soundstage that makes the Borresen sound so incredible and so engaging to listen to. Another thing I want to point out, if you happen to see what our walls look like here, they look a little funny because we have pulled down a lot of the sound treatment in this room because, like Joe likes to say, Borresen does not play by the same game that everybody else does, and we have discovered that they actually perform much better without a lot of room treatment. So we've taken treatment down, and we've definitely seen and heard, more importantly, a nice boost in the sonic characteristic of this room and the performance of the speakers. I'm going to pass it over to Joe so he can talk a little bit about Aavik and take it away.
Okay. So under that umbrella, so Lars Christensen, Michael Borresen, Aavik has been a line that's been around since about 2016. Now, Aavik Electronics have traditionally been Class D amplifiers, and in my world, Class D has been a bad word. But these guys and what they're doing with the Tesla coils and Tesla squares and noise mitigation have really changed my mind about Class D. Now, when you get up into their higher end stuff, they have a 250 watt pure Class A amplifier in the 880 series, but this company, Aavik as a company, can drive any speaker, but of course, the special synergies are going to be found with Borresen and Aavik. Now, in addition, Ansuz, down along the bottom, the power conditioning, the Ethernet switching, and the cables that are here in this room, this is all under that same Audio Group Denmark umbrella. So just absolutely phenomenal sound. This is our 15 by 19 room. Obviously, those O5 Silver Supremes were too big to be in here, but definitely come, have a seat. Let's listen to Borresen, and I think you're going to be very impressed with where audio and technology is going. This company is at the forefront of technology, and we're going to be doing a whole series of videos about Audio Group Denmark products in the coming months, so stay tuned for that. Some of you may have already seen some of our show videos and some of the other coverage that we've already done so far, but there's a lot more coming. All right, so we've seen some high-end stuff already. What I really want to show off is Soundroom 2 here. And Soundroom 2 serves a very specific purpose. So this room is 13 by 15. This is the average Florida guest bedroom. So if you're an adult and your kids are going off to college and you're getting a bedroom back and want a stereo room, this is it. Those dimensions are very important to help us to create a real world environment where you can audition these things and get a sense of what they're going to sound like when you get them home. Now, this room is, and as we have it right now, Cambridge audio features pretty heavily. The Evo series, the CX series, and the Edge series. And then Focal and Triangle speakers also. This is the 40th anniversary, and this is the new Aria Evo X line. Both French speaker companies, but they couldn't be more divergent in sound. In fact, in a lot of ways, for people coming in for the first time, we listen to these two speakers and we say, which one do you prefer, the sound of? And that is the road by which we diverge when we're looking to fit someone for a pair of speakers. So anyhow, a couple of price points going on in here. Bookshelf starting at $1,000, going up to $4,000, $5,000 floor standers. This is a room for if you're just getting back into it. If you've walked in off the street and said, hey, what's going on here? I've heard I need a stereo. I know nothing about it. Well, this is where we're going to start. In addition, you'll notice that we have some room treatment, but not a huge amount of room treatment. So we want to make this real world. We've got a nice carpet in here, but these small dimensions, more and more we're seeing our customers have small rooms like this. And so we want to show off exactly what we can do. You don't have to have a huge hall to have a crazy good stereo. It can be 13 by 15. Okay, so just off Soundroom 2 is the hallway to the back of the shop. And this was a really good place for us. Not only do we store our pizza and our lunch here, but this is our used section. And so everything that you see over here and along these walls, this is a lot of the used gear that we get in on trade. Some of it literally came from my house or other shop members' houses. But we've got some really good stuff here. A lot of Macintosh. A lot of people are coming in to listen to T+A and some of our other brands, and they've had Macintosh, and so they listen to some of this stuff and say, you know what, it's time to make a move. Some really interesting pieces like this is the precursor to the Rossini stack. This is the DCS Elgar and the digital stack from the 90s. Really neat piece. Audio Research, Krell, Mark Levinson, Wilson, more Macintosh, Thorens, older Arcam, some Focal, some Eggleston Works, Carry Audio, Conrad Johnson, and just FYI, I grew up in a home that was very much a Conrad Johnson house. My father was super into Conrad Johnson, so we picked up CJ once we took over the shop, and as far as tube amps go and tube equipment, big fan of Conrad Johnson. Also a big fan of Audio Research. Two great American companies. We've got a couple other pieces like Acoustic Arts, Joachim Voss, great guy, great company, great sounding equipment. Phasmation, PS Audio, Valvet. So a number of really cool things that you don't see every day. This is still, there's some pretty exotic stuff and some really good deals to be had. You won't find all of this online. And the reason may be because either it's too heavy and I don't want to ship it, or it was traded in without the box, without the manual, whatever, and we're not going to ship that either. So really, on some of these, stop in. If you can't stop in, call us. So there's going to be a lot of things that you're not going to see online. Now, here in the back of the shop is another room that I want to show you. In my opinion, one of our most exciting rooms, exciting for me as a true audiophile, and that's the high-end room over here. So the back of the house, you might spot it's messy. We have a lot of product coming in and out, but this room really is special. And right off the bat, most people are going to immediately recognize those horns. And then, of course, HRS and VPI turntables. They're going to recognize Magnapan. And if you watch our YouTube channel, you'll have seen Jasmin and I do a video on the Stenheims. Now, these are the Ultime 2s. They were introduced at Expona this year. After Expona, they came down to us. And of course, we're one of T+A's biggest dealers here in the United States. So these are the M40 HV monoblocks, capable of a kilowatt in high watt mode and 550 watts in high current mode. This is easily one of my favorite monoblocks on the planet. There's plenty of great ones. This happens to be what we're running right now, and I absolutely love them. Sharp-eyed viewers are going to see this is all Synergistic Research cabling in here, Synergistic Research power conditioning and grounding. So I love the tunability of Synergistic Research with their tuning bullets and some of the technologies that they've used to improve the sound. So you're going to see a lot of that in here. And let's look at the rack. So this is HRS, and this is the SXR rack. It's absolutely beautiful lines, great technology, perfect isolation of each shelf. You know, HRS is a cool company because each shelf is designed to hold a specific weight or a specific product. So they take care to make sure that you get exactly what you need. And so with their customization, it doesn't matter how weird your stereo system looks or how many strange esoteric components you've got, they're going to be able to accommodate it. So this is a company that I really like. This is probably the first time that I think we've talked about the HRS company or their products on camera, so I'm excited to show this to you. Of course, VPI. This is the Avenger Direct. We are switching out cartridges. We're moving up in the line to the DS Audio Grandmaster cartridge, so it's not here yet, it's not mounted yet, but this space and this space is where the Grandmaster equalizer will go and the Grandmaster EX cartridge will sit there. Audio Research preamp, T+A's reference DAC, my company over here on the bottom. So here's my shameless plug, but Wolf Audio Systems. We make the audio servers, and not everybody's a Wolf customer, so we also carry Render and Hi-Fi Rose. But this digital stack here drives the system beautifully. So then something that we haven't yet talked about, you can consider this kind of a coming out party, but right now on our Avant-Gardes, this is the Pathos integrated amplifier. Now, I don't know how many people are familiar with Pathos, but it's an Italian tube and amplifier manufacturer. This thing is 308 pounds. I am not taking it off the plinth that comes on straight out of the box just yet because I don't know that I'll be able to move it again. But we wanted something with pure Class A operation to handle the Duo GT Avant-Gardes. And this is an amp that is truly worthy of these Avant-Gardes. Now, a lot of people know who Avant-Garde is. They've been around for 30 years. This is their newest Generation 3 drivers. So this is the mid-range and this is the tweeter. Down below we have two 12-inch drivers. And this is just some of the best audio that we've ever had here in the shop. So horn lovers, this is the speaker. If the Duo GT is too big for you, they have the Duo SD, which features one driver, and then they even have the Uno and now the new Calypsos. So a lot coming out of Germany, and really in this room, there's a lot of German stuff. So Germany, Switzerland, Italy, Korea for our render, but a lot of really cool products and American products as well. Wolf Audio Systems, Audio Research, Magnapan. So this is our high-end room. And for, the hardcore audiophiles, in some ways, this is an end-game room. This is when my father comes in, this is the room I'll always find him in. All right, so that's the front of house. Now, something that It's pretty special, something that there's going to be a lot of noise made about here in the coming months, but I'm going to give you a sneak peek on it, is what we've done with Focal. So as you know, a lot of you already know, we are one of the dozen or so Focal powered by Naim experience centers here in the United States. Now, this is a global initiative where Focal wants to have a presence in existing stores. Focal understands how important the stereo shop is and how important a real-life experience is for people learning about their products or building a stereo. So Focal and I agreed to build the Focal Powered by Naim Experience Center. Now, we're fully operational, but we've got a couple more things that we're going to be doing to decorate this place and really make it look awesome. And it all starts with the headphone bar. And so Focal is one of those companies that not only does speakers very well, they got into the headphone business some years ago and rose right to the top. They make some of the best headphones in the world, the Stellias, the Clear MGs, the Celestes, and of course, the Utopia 2022s. Really quite a good headphone company. A lot of people out there in the world using them on both sides, on the playback, but also on the music production. Of course, the Unity Atom Headphone Edition is a great little headphone amp. Focal and Naim are owned by the same corporation, so their engineers work together to really create great synergies between those two companies. But of course, as you know, Focal, whether they're speakers, headphones, whatever, and Naim Electronics can drive anything. Also in here, one of Focal's most recognizable lines are the Kantas. So these are the Kanta 2s. These are the Sopras, and this is where Focal starts getting into beryllium tweeters. And so there are 3 or 4 companies out there in the world that work with beryllium. Focal is one of the best. Over here, and meet Finny, if you haven't seen Finny yet. This is my dog, the shop mascot. Now, over here are the Focal Arias. Now, this is an interesting speaker, and I want to take a second to talk about it because the Aria line, the Aria 906, 926, 936, 948, that speaker line was alive for 10 years. That is a super long time in the audio world for a speaker to be a current production model. What Focal did was they used those 10 years to vastly improve the tweeter, the mid-range, the cabinet. Basically, this is an entirely new Aria, the Aria Evo X series, and this is the largest of them, the number 4. Kept the price the same, performance went way up. So super cool, and I don't know if you can see this green, but this moss green is, I think it was a pretty daring color. They pulled it off, it was great. Now, if you follow me in here, this is where things get serious. So here we are in the Focal Powered by Naim room. This is the Utopia room. So here are the Scala Utopias. This room is basically showcasing the best of what Focal and Naim together have produced to date. So Utopia level speakers, Sopra level, beryllium everywhere. And you'll find the 200 series, the 300 series by Naim, you'll find the 500, and of course, the Naim statement. Now, this is 1 horsepower of power for each speaker. The left channel amplifier, the right channel amplifier, the preamp here in the center. 742 watts per channel on each side to drive the Focal Grand Utopia EM Evos. Now, this is probably one of the most recognizable speakers on the planet, and there's a reason for it, because it is quite possibly one of the best speakers on the planet. Some several of some of the biggest, best amp makers that I'm aware of have these in their factory so that they can voice their electronics on these speakers. This is just one of the most sought after. People come in, hey, I heard that you have these. I am dying to hear these. It's always been a dream. Well, come in, come listen to them because they're here, and yes, they are amazing. So Focal Naim is a big part of our store. And we have a lot of awesome products, but Focal and Naim together really comprise a big part of the store that we're super excited about. We happen to have, there's a special wood finish that we'll show you a little bit closer in a minute, but this wood finish and the Ebene Blanc and the Gold Moire colors, they're only available through FPBN's, Focal Powered by Naim stores like us. So if you wanted this custom finish, and there's going to be some new finishes coming that are exclusive to the FPBN stores. So a good reason to come in and experience this, hear it for yourself. These speakers go down to 18 hertz. These are, I can't say enough good things. They're truly an amazing speaker that you have to experience. Now, in addition to those two great speakers, you'll notice here on the walls behind me, this is Focal, their custom install speakers. This is also a theater. Now, I haven't put the projector in. I plan to. There'll be a screen that comes down here. But this room also happens to be an 18-channel theater. This is the Utopia in walls. Full range, and then down here along the floor are the subwoofers, and there's 2 3-driver woofers per channel on the front and 1 3-driver woofer per channel on the surrounds. And of course we have the height channels in the ceiling as well. This is already amazing. We can play multi-channel audio in here and people are just absolutely shocked. They're obviously looking for speakers on the floor because they're expecting that this can't be coming out of the wall. And that's what some of Focal's magic are, because they are such a large and robust company in the R&D department that they can do things that are just amazing, even to guys like me who have seen a lot of things. So that's kind of the big news. Now we're going to be finishing up some of the room treatment and dialing this room in and putting the projection system in before the FPBN grand opening. Now, of course, the shop is open, but we're going to be having a bigger party, probably around our 55th anniversary later this year. So stay tuned.